Hi, I'm Nancy Thorson, and this is my persuasive speech, and this is my audience. I'm going to begin about telling you a story about a young boy. His name is James. James is a slender boy, more bright than he is athletic. He attended the public school system up to the age of 9. That's when it began. Name calling, being pushed around, ending with his head being shoved into the school trash can. His parents complained to school officials. They were very upset, and the school told them that they were proactive about bullying and that it would stop. It did not. That's when his parents decided to homeschool James. Homeschool director Stuart Chapman has said about a third of the families that have signed up for homeschooling programs have done so because of a bullying incident. The latest Department of Education figures show 2,192 students were newly registered for homeschooling last year. Of course, bullying is not the only reason that homeschooling is a more pliable option over the public school system. There is the moral belief issue as well. Theodore Roosevelt said, and I quote, "To educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society." Many parents share this sentiment when it comes to the public school system. The moral belief, violence, peer pressure, drugs, crime, contempt for authority, and illiteracy found in the public school system is an inadequate setting to properly educate and socialize our children today. Many school socialization advocates argue that homeschooling prevents children from experiencing real life. According to a California study by researcher Dr. Brian Ray, 92% of superintendents believe that children taught at home are emotionally unstable, deprived of proper social development, and too judgmental of the world around them. I ask, how can this be true? What about poor James, the child I mentioned earlier? You can be assured that he felt emotionally unstable, especially after being pushed around, having negative comments yelled at him, and having his head shoved in a trash can on a daily basis. And what about the behavior of the students that harassed James so terribly? Who taught them that it was okay to treat someone this bad? Did they learn this in the classroom? Who have they been spending too much time with? Obviously, not their parents. The National Home Education Research Institute revealed the 36 to 56 hours that students spend in school-related weekly activities make peers and adults outside the home the primary influence in children's lives, not the parents. On the other hand, homeschoolers frequently extend their everyday classroom activities to visiting fire departments, hospitals, museums, city halls, national parks, churches, and colleges where real community interaction and contacts are made. What about the cost? Let's talk about the cost. With approximately 2.3 million children currently being homeschooled in the United States, along with a 15 to 20% yearly growth rate, many professional educators and school boards are concerned that this departure will keep funds from entering the public education system. Families engaged in home education are not dependent on public tax-funded resources for their children's education. The finances associated with their homeschooling likely represent over $27 billion that American taxpayers do not have to spend, and that's on an annual basis. Taxpayers spend an average of $11,732 per pupil in public schools and spend nothing on most homeschool students. Homeschool families spend an average of $600 per student for their education. Homeschooling allows for the individualization of the curriculum for each child. This allows the children to accomplish more academically than in the public school system. In addition, it permits more freedom in scheduling learning activities and teaches students to be independent in their learning choices. Homeschooling has a smaller teacher-to-student ratio, which allows more one-on-one contact to develop the child's learning skills. A study conducted by the Vineyard Adaptive Behavior Scales identified mature and well-adapted behaviors in children that are homeschooled. Home learners ranked in the 84th percentile compared to publicly schooled students who were drastically lower. They ranked in the 23rd percentile. In addition, home-educated students typically score above average on the SAT and ACT tests the colleges consider for administration. These students are increasingly being actively recruited by colleges. The home educated are doing well, typically above average in areas of social, emotional, and psychological development. Research measures include peer interaction, self-concept, leadership skills, family unity, and self-esteem. They are commonly involved in activities such as field trips, 4-H, political drives, sports teams, and community volunteer work. Research based on adults that were homeschooled is growing. Thus far, it indicates that they participate in local community service more frequently, vote and attend public meetings, go to and succeed in college at an equal rate as the general population, and by adulthood, internalize the values and beliefs of their parents at a high rate. The goal here is not to imply that the public school system has become a playground for youthful hooligans, or that today's educators lack enthusiasm and drive. The goal is to find a way to keep our children safe, both physically and emotionally, to instill values, beliefs, and objectives, to live long, happy, productive lives. Homeschooling enhances family relationships between children and parents, including siblings. It provides a venue to socialize children according to the parents' beliefs and morals. It allows the monies collected from taxpayers to be allocated to programs that can assist in educating students not homeschooled. It allows greater freedom to choose the curriculum and scheduling for learning. In addition, it permits the opportunity for homeschool students to be recruited by colleges. Most importantly, homeschooling provides a safer environment for our children and youth because of the physical violence, because of the drugs and alcohol, and because of the psychological abuse being received in public schools. Homeschooling enables us to teach and impart a particular set of values, beliefs, and worldviews to our youth. Of course, your decision where your child is educated is your choice, but I hope that I've been able to, at least, share information that may be helpful if you ever find yourself in the same situation as James' parents. Thank you for listening.